The member for Kew.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question is to the Premier. How much interest are Victorians paying on our net debt each day?
Order. When the House is in order, we will continue. The Premier.
Deputy Speaker, and I had some assistance from my colleagues, but as they pointed out, this was a question that was asked and addressed yesterday in this.
It was. Yes, it was. The Manager of Opposition Business on a point of order.
Speaker, on relevance, 3 times the Premier has been asked this question in relation to debt, and the Premier is yet and interest, and the Premier is yet to answer the question.
Point of order is Leader of the House. On the point of order.
Deputy Speaker, the Premier has been on her feet for 15 seconds. She is being entirely relevant to the question. I ask that you rule the point of order out of order.
Leader of the House, resume your seat. Everyone calm down. Thank you. The Premier has just started her response and will continue.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. As I indicated in the 15 seconds I'd started answering the question, this question was asked and addressed yesterday in this place, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, also too, alongside the reporting of the alongside the reporting that happens each and every year and throughout the year through the budget papers. Of course, Deputy Speaker, we know that interest rates also have some fluidity depending on what the Reserve Bank decides at its regular board meetings. What we are focused on every day, Deputy Speaker, is continuing to grow the economy, creating more jobs than any other state.
Manager's Opposition Business, succinctly.
Speaker, Deputy Speaker, the Premier is debating the question. Repeatedly, the Premier has been asked how much the interest is. Repeatedly. And the Premier is refusing to answer the question. It's just evasive.
The Premier is being relevant to the question asked and will continue, preferably in silence.
Saying it is no coincidence, Deputy Speaker, that every time I talk about Victoria creating more jobs than any other state in the nation, that the opposition jump up and do a point of order at that precise moment, because these are facts that they do not like to hear. They do not like to hear that Victorian economy is forecast to grow strongly and will continue to support the strength of our economy. We won't be introducing cuts like the Liberal Party are proposing to do, as they revealed just this very week.
Manager of Opposition Business on another point of order.
Deputy Speaker, the Premier is required to be direct and relevant. 3 times the Premier has been asked about interest in Victoria, 3 times. The Premier is not going anywhere near the question that was asked. This is an important question, and I would ask you to ask the Premier to address the question.
The Premier, Leader of the House on the point of order.
We know that the member for Brighton
on the point of order,
the sound of his own voice, getting up, constantly interrupting the Premier, who is being directly relevant to the question that was asked of her, and I ask that you rule him out of order.
Leader of the House on the point of order.
Opposition Leader. We can't make the question any simpler. If the Premier doesn't want to answer it, she should simply tell the Victorian people that the Premier will refuse to answer the question. How much interest are Victorians paying every day? Simple question. We just want a number.
Thank you, Leader of the House. Order. Order. The question was asked about net debt. The question was answering on net debt. The question was the Premier was being relevant to the question. I am not in the position to tell the Premier how to answer her question, as you have heard before. The Premier to continue. The Premier has finished her answer on a supplementary question. The member for Kew.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The Premier has now been asked 3 times how much interest Victorians are paying on our net debt every day. Is the Premier so financially incompetent that she cannot answer basic questions about the budget?
Premier.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and again remind the Shadow Minister for Finance that this information and information that's contained in many of the questions that is asked by the opposition are published regularly through the budget papers. But really, Deputy Speaker, as we know, Deputy Speaker, that when it comes to supporting Victorian workers, when it comes to supporting Victorian families, Victorians know that they can trust Labor governments to look after them, as opposed to those opposite who've revealed their plans for cuts, who've revealed their plans for a US-style...
I'm not sure who that was. But you are warned. The member for Kew on a point of order.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. On relevance, this was about financial incompetence and the budget, and just so the Premier knows, it's $17.8 million every single day.
The Premier was being relevant. It's order. Order. I'm here all day. Try the bill. Premier was being relevant to the question. Point of order is not an opportunity to repeat the question. Premier to continue. Finish your answer. Premier's finished. To continue.
Victorians know, Deputy Speaker, the Liberal Party revealed this week that once again they will cut those frontline services that the Victorian community relies on.